Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And you should recognise that hotel. That's Areca Lodge on Sardinia. And what we're going to do is have a walk around at night, because it's now 7 o'clock on last Saturday night. And I had a walk around, and I'll take you for a little stroll round LK Metro and Bacau and Treetown and what have you, while we have a chat. Now the chat is about stories. I have a story which is a continuation of the previous story from 2 weeks ago, which a lot of you have asked what's happened. Now this is a story about the lady and her Russian boyfriend. Now I won't use that word again, that country word again. I'll refer to him in the future as the East European, okay, for obvious reasons. After the story update, we're going to do some Newbie advice. If you know the previous story, well, if you don't, let me just very quickly tell you. About 4 years ago, this East European guy and a girl got together, and everything was good. They had a good time together. They lived together. They bought a house together, or rather rented a villa together, so I should say. And everything was good until the very recent problems. You can imagine. And the guy had said he was going to buy the girl a car and everything, and she had an accident with a motorbike, so that was the reason for buying the car, and so on. So that's the story. I'll put a link at the top so you can watch the first part of it. If you remember, the girl wasn't the most honest of girls, ex-Walking Street go-go dancer. She was having parties in the villa while he was back in his home country. And he did finish with her. So that brings us up to date. Now, since then, the girl has been messaging him constantly and begging him to get back together and what have you, and to send money and this and that. But of course, he had a problem because of the restrictions with his own country, of course. But then it appears that he can send money. Why? Because he's only a young guy in his 30s, and he has bank accounts in Australia and in the UK, as well as in his own country and in Thailand. And he's got plenty of money in these bank accounts. Now what does that tell you about the nature of the business he's in? Anyway, he agreed to buy the car, to go back, get back together. It was a 4-year relationship after all, and she was after this Honda Civic, and he's agreed to buy it. And because she really wanted it. It was something very special. It was an RS Turbo Sport she was after. And he said to her, okay, if you want me to buy the car, then you have to leave Pattaya, and you have to go to live with your family in Surin. Now, in order to get the car, the girl has initially agreed to go home when the car arrives and to take it to Surin. So the East European guy transferred 250,000 baht into her Thai bank from an account he had in Australia. And off the girl went to the Honda dealer to reorder the car, because she'd previously ordered it and cancelled it. However, the dealer said that there was now a delay in delivery on new cars because of the shortage of many electrical components, apparently, because of what's happening, probably. So she'll have to wait, maybe a month. So she told the East European boyfriend, and he said that she should go home to Surin and wait there. But she said that that would be a waste of time and money, because maybe the car would arrive sooner than a month. Better stay in Pattaya with a girlfriend of hers who has a condo. So the East European guy agreed. Now obviously you know that I get all these stories from my hairdresser friend. Now the girl told my hairdresser friend that she has no intention at all of going to Surin. She said it's the most boring place you could ever want to live. And she said that what she's seen recently is that there are more and more good-looking young phalangs appearing in Ibar every night, and she's having an absolute ball, drinking and partying and taking young guys short time every night, and she absolutely loves the nightlife in Pattaya, and she would never want to go back to Surin. So she told my hairdresser friend that she had this scheme to tell her East European boyfriend after the Honda arrives. And what she's going to tell him is that she feels really sorry for him having to send her all that money all the time, and he's not even getting her company. So she wants to help out with the finances. And instead of wasting her time sitting in Surin, which she hates with a passion, it's boring, and no nightlife, she wants to Pattaya nightlife. She wants to make money in Pattaya by using the Honda and becoming a Bolt taxi driver. How about that for a story? So that's as far as it's gone at the moment. That's what the situation. The thing is, this is a real life story. This is not a book. You can't go to the next chapter. You know, this is happening right now. So we have to wait for the next episode, and see what happens when she gets when this car eventually will arrive within a month, and see what happens. It's quite funny, really. See, it's actually a live story that's happening right now. It'll be quite interesting to see what the reaction of the East European boyfriend is when she says she's not going home to Surin. She wants to be a good girl and work and help with the finances by being a Bolt taxi driver. So let's do some more newbie advice. Now, even if you Pattaya regulars coming back after 2 years of being away, you could easily make newbie mistakes, you know. I mean, it's a long time, 2 years. And the situation at the moment is that many girls have already returned into Pattaya, and there seems to be now more girls than customers, and they're all waiting for you guys to return. And I think as soon as the powers that be drop that test on arrival and that stupid 5-day test, I think you'll all be flooding back in the gates. I'm pretty sure you will. And most of the girls have been struggling for the last 2 years, so they're desperate to get their hands on your money. Now, if you're a real newbie, then you're in for a culture shock. You really are. Our Western women don't approach men as a rule, and certainly are not all over them within 10 minutes of meeting them, and don't continually give them compliments like calling them handsome man and everything all the time, and then within a couple of days telling them I love you and all that. This type of behavior, it throws the inexperienced guy completely off balance. They really don't know how to handle it. They've never experienced anything like that in their lives. And because the girls are so expert at it, many guys believe that these feelings are genuine. In the case of the man, they actually might be. Unfortunately, with most of the bar girls, the only thing which is genuine is the motive, which is money. I've told you guys before, there's only one reason girls come to Pattaya, and that is money. Now, if you have any doubts about that, you should listen to what a friend of mine does whenever he wants to change his girlfriend, which he does every few months. He simply tells the current girlfriend that there's some personal financial disaster has just occurred, like maybe the stock market or something and has crashed, or he's lost money from some bad investment, and he's lost all his money, and he can't give the girl any money anymore, and she'll have to go and get a job. Now, if this was a genuine relationship, the girl would be sympathetic and would get a job and try and help the guy back on his feet, wouldn't she? Yeah. Now, you'd be amazed just how quickly a Pattaya bar girl finds some excuse to end the relationship and move on. But my friend always plays the victim, and the girl ends up apologizing for leaving. Now imagine the different reaction if he told the girl the truth and said, I'm getting bored with your company and I want to change and get a new girlfriend. I think you'd have a different reaction, you know, not just a case of, okay, well, I'm off then. It would be a bit more violent than that, I think. Now, talking about changing girlfriend, if you're a newbie, and by the way, a newbie also really applies to guys who've been here up to maybe half a dozen times, because it takes a while to get hardened to these girls' charms. So changing girls. If you're the sort of guy who is soft-hearted, you really should change the girl at the beginning when you're a newbie every day. For the first few visits. If you don't do that, then you can get emotionally involved. And you could end up like some guys who end up marrying the first girl they ever bar find. If you don't follow this advice, I'll tell you what can happen. You can end up seeing the girl every night and having a really great time together. It's absolutely wonderful. You're completely like head over heels. And you can have a real heartbreaker of a last day when you have to go to the airport. And when you're on that plane, going home feeling totally dejected, you can be sure that your newfound love of your life is down in Ibar, partying the night away with her new boyfriend, who just arrived this morning on his first ever trip to Pattaya. And think about this one, depending upon how long it took them to turn the plane around, maybe he even arrived on the same plane that you're leaving on now. Maybe he even sat in the same seat. But you're going back to reality. So once you get back home, the next thing that you can expect, because certainly if you spent all that time together, you would have given her your real home country phone number and maybe your WhatsApp ID and everything. What you can expect is a begging message saying she doesn't want to go with other men and she needs money for rent, only 4,000 baht. That's how sponsorship starts. So to avoid all that pain and expense, stick to the 1-day rule. Never mind the 3-day rule. That's too long if you're soft-hearted. You'll already be hooked by day 2. Something else which newbies need to learn about being in Pattaya is that everything is temporary. Everything is fleeting regarding nightlife. You cannot make plans even for the next day. Everything is in constant flux and is changing all the time. What I mean is, if an opportunity occurs to take a new friend back to your hotel who you particularly like, grab it. Don't ever try to arrange it for the next day, because something will screw it up. You know, some other guy will come along, offer more money or whatever, but something will screw it up. To quote my old Latin master, carpe diem, seize or pluck the day, do it now, don't delay. In Pattaya, when you're on holiday, always grab the opportunity when it presents itself. If you really like that new friend, take them. Don't think I'll come back in an hour, because they'll be gone. Somebody else will have taken the opportunity. Having said that, in Pattaya, you don't miss the girl. You just miss your turn. That's all. So that's the way it is in Pattaya. Okay. I'm just going to go on to tell you the story about the German guy, which is an ongoing story at the moment. The older German guy, if you remember, from a previous video. Let me finish the story. Well, update it anyway. So let me give you a little update on that older German guy who had the relationship with the lady for 4 years, and he ended up buying her a house, well, 2 houses actually in the end, and a car and everything. And then she said she wanted him to bring all his money from Germany to Thailand and get married and put it in a joint bank account, and he refused. So she did a runner to Phuket. That story. Okay, well, let me tell you what happened. So after the lady went off to Phuket to make money, the older German guy, actually he had taken a condo, but he'd only rented it for a week or two. And after only a few days, when she went to Phuket, he moved back into the house. It's his house as far as he's concerned, and he moved back in. So obviously some of the local Thais contacted the lady in Phuket, and a few days ago, well, just over a week or more ago, he was asleep in bed alone in the morning when his ex-lady came bursting into the bedroom. She still has keys, obviously, trying to catch him out, but he was alone. And she was shouting, "Why are you staying in my house?" And he said, "I bought this house with my money." And she said, "I have it, it's my house, I have paper to show, and you shouldn't be here." Anyway, the guy ended up, he got out of bed and walked into the lounge, and he saw 2 big suitcases and another lady, her friend, this lady's friend. And she said, "I'm moving in. I'm not staying in Phuket, I'm moving in with my friend." So the 2 of them ended up in the 2nd bedroom, quite a big bedroom, so there was plenty of room. And they ended up going out every night and staying out all night and partying and getting drunk all night and all the rest of it. And the poor German guy's suffering there on his own. Anyway, the German guy decided to go and see the lawyer who had done the actual purchase of the house, because he'd been recommended previously. That's why I went to him in the first place. He went to go and see he's a Thai man, the lawyer. He went to go and see the lawyer, and the lawyer said, "Let me speak to the lady. Let me have a chat to her." So a day or 2 later, then the lawyer goes and meets the lady and talks to her, and there's obviously something gone on with the purchase of the house which is not right, because in the end the lawyer said yes, she's agreed to sell the house and give you half the money. Really? Yep, that's what she's agreed. So that's what's going to happen now. What the German guy wants to do is he wants to keep the house, really. So he might have to pay her out half the money again, but we'll have to wait and see what happens, whether it ends up getting sold or whether he ends up buying her out, basically, or buying half of it again. But then he would actually own the house. So that's the way it is at the moment. So I'll just keep you updated as to what's going on. Quite funny, really. Anyway, guys, if you like the stories and the newbie advice and everything, please subscribe and like and share and ring the bell. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you in the next video.